Rediscovering Identity and Purpose After Retirement. An opening note of reflection. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, who am I now? For decades, your name was tied to a job title, a daily rhythm, a purpose that filled each morning. But when retirement arrives, that familiar tapestry unravels, leaving you holding threads of uncertainty. This morning, perhaps you woke before dawn, brewed your coffee, and sank into the silence of an empty calendar. You realized you weren't tired of chores or errands, you felt drained by absence of meaning. It's a different kind of fatigue, one born not of physical exertion, but of a question unspoken. Imagine Joan, a retired teacher, who described her first week off as wandering in a fog. She asked herself if she'd lost more than a job, she'd lost her story. If that sounds familiar, you're in good company. Over the next half hour, we'll uncover why identity can feel lost in retirement and how you can rediscover purpose piece by piece. We'll weave scientific insights with practical strategies and expert wisdom. By the end, you'll know how to transform this transition into a journey of growth, hope, and renewed identity. The awakening moment. Hello, I'm Ordinary People, your online neighbor and fellow retiree. Today we explore a powerful question. How can we redefine who we are after leaving our careers behind? Our journey draws on leading research from Dr. Laura Carstensen, Dr. Nancy Schlossberg, Dr. Robert J. Waldinger, Dr. Becca Levy, Dr. Mo Wang, Dr. Ken Dykewald, and Dr. Richard Leiter. Each expert offers a piece of the puzzle. Here's how we'll proceed. First, we'll ground ourselves in key scientific insights about aging, transition, and identity. Then, we'll walk through 5 practical solutions, each one designed to restore meaning and spark vitality. After that, we'll dive into a deeper scientific perspective before closing with reflection and a call to action. This script is crafted for a calm, warm delivery, like a trusted friend guiding you through a whisper-soft podcast. You'll hear stories, research, quotes, and actionable steps. This isn't about filling time. It's about filling your life with purpose again. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let's begin the journey of rediscovery. The awakening of curiosity. When we step away from a long career, we enter a profound psychological transition. According to Dr. Nancy Schlossberg's transition theory, retirement is not a single event, but a multi-stage process. Schlossberg explains that our adaptation depends on our situation, self-perception, support, and strategies, what she calls the 4 S's. Understanding these elements arms us with tools to navigate this change. Dr. Laura Carstensen's socio-emotional selectivity theory adds another layer. As our perceived time shrinks, we naturally shift priorities toward emotionally meaningful goals. Carstensen notes, as our horizons shorten, we focus more on quality of experience than quantity of tasks. This explains why retirees often trade busy schedules for deeper connections, but it also reveals why identity can feel adrift when we lose a sense of direction. The Harvard study of adult development, led by Dr. Robert J. Waldinger, reminds us that good relationships are the bedrock of happiness and health. Waldinger emphasizes, good relationships keep us happier and healthier. When retirement severs our daily social networks, we can feel unmoored, making the quest for new bonds essential. Dr. Mo Wang's research on retirement adjustment shows that retirees often experience a dip in life satisfaction in the first year after leaving work. But Wang also found that engaging in bridge employment or volunteer activities can soften that downturn. These early months aren't a permanent slide. They're an invitation to experiment with new roles. Together, these theories reveal why the loss of a work identity can feel seismic and how focusing on support, meaning, relationships, and purposeful activity sets the stage for a renewed, fulfilling life. Insight 1. Embrace new roles through active experimentation. Transition expert Dr. Nancy Schlossberg reminds us that coping with change requires clear strategies and support. She writes, "The extent to which we adapt to change depends on our coping resources. One of the most potent resources is experimentation, trying small, low-stakes roles to see what resonates. Begin by listing potential new identities: mentor, volunteer, artist, coach, or community gardener. Choose 1 or 2 roles that spark curiosity. For instance, Joan discovered she loved advising new teachers as a mentor, spending 2 hours a week at her former school. That small experiment reignited her sense of competence and contribution. Set clear parameters. Commit to 3 sessions, then reflect. Ask yourself, how did this role feel? Did it awaken your passion or feel like a chore? Keep a journal, brief entries on what energizes you and what drains you. Tracking your mood and sense of purpose shines a light on activities that deserve more of your time. Seek support from friends or local groups. When you volunteer as a museum docent or join a neighborhood committee, you're not signing up for decades, you're embarking on a short-term trial. If it doesn't fit, you gracefully move on without guilt. Active experimentation reframes retirement from an end to a series of new beginnings. By treating each role as a hypothesis to test, you reclaim agency. You're no longer defined solely by a former career, you become the architect of multiple possible futures. Insight 2. Cultivate micro-purposes. Dr. Lova Carstensen's research shows that when time feels precious, smaller, emotionally meaningful goals bring greater satisfaction. She observes, our goals grow sharper and more emotionally rich as we perceive time slipping away. Embracing micro-purposes helps you focus on tangible, uplifting achievements each day. Start by identifying 3 tiny but potent intentions. Writing a handwritten note to a friend, planting a herb in your kitchen window, or reading a poem. These aren't chores. They're acts that infuse moments with meaning. Schedule them like appointments. A 15-minute gratitude walk at dawn, a midday call to a grandchild, or an evening sketch session. Celebrate each micro-purpose completion. Did you send that letter? Close your eyes, reflect on the warmth you sent and received. Over time, these small victories accumulate into a powerful sense of progress and identity. You become someone who nurtures, creates, and connects. No bigger project required. Consider creating a micro-purpose board, a simple bulletin board listing your daily intentions. Check them off as you go. This visual reinforcement taps into the satisfaction of accomplishment and keeps your emotional goals front and center. By cultivating micro-purposes, you shift from wandering through an open expanse of unstructured time to walking a path dotted with meaningful milestones. Each micro-purpose reminds you of who you are, a person capable of creating beauty, connection, and joy. Insight 3. Forge social bonds that nourish. Dr. Robert J. Waldinger's decades-long study at Harvard underscores a simple truth: strong relationships sustain us. He affirms, good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Retirement often scatters our daily social ties, but new bonds can fill that gap. Begin by rekindling old friendships. Send a message to a former colleague or neighbor you haven't heard from in years. Invite them for coffee, a walk, or a virtual chat. Reconnection is surprisingly powerful. It reminds you that your network extends beyond work. Next, join a local interest group, a book club, gardening circle, or walking meet. Many organizations now offer hybrid formats, blending in-person and online gatherings. That flexibility ensures you can participate at your own pace and comfort level. Volunteer opportunities provide another fertile ground. Ask your library about reading programs for children, or see if your community center needs a receptionist. Engaging in service not only benefits others, but also anchors your sense of purpose and collective effort. Finally, practice vulnerability in conversations. Instead of just trading niceties, share a genuine challenge or a small triumph. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg notes that authentic dialogue deepens connections. When you open up, you invite others to do the same, creating bonds that feed your identity and emotional well-being. Through forging new and rekindled relationships, You weave a social tapestry that supports your evolving identity. Each conversation, shared laugh, and compassionate listener affirms that you still belong and that your story continues. Insight 4. Transform your narrative. Our beliefs about aging shape our reality. Dr. Becca Levy's groundbreaking research reveals our perceptions of aging can predict longevity. If you view retirement as decline, your body and mind follow suit. But if you frame it as a chapter of growth, you open yourself to possibilities. Begin by examining your internal narrative. What stories do you tell yourself? Perhaps you think, I'm too old to learn new skills, or my best years are behind me. Write these down. Then actively reframe them. Every day is an opportunity to discover something new. Or retirement frees me to pursue dreams I couldn't before. Create a narrative ritual each morning. Spend 5 minutes journaling a story about a personal strength or a past triumph. Remind yourself how you overcame challenges, whether it was earning a degree later in life or coaching a volunteer team. These recollections rekindle confidence in your ability to grow. Next, adopt an aspirational identity statement. A concise vision of who you want to be now. It could be, I am an explorer of new ideas, or I am a mentor who uplifts others. Repeat it aloud daily or place it on a sticky note by your mirror. By actively shaping your narrative, you reclaim authorship of your life story. Retirement becomes not a period of fading, but a prologue to fresh adventures. Each morning's ritual reminds you that your identity is dynamic, always ready for the next page. Insight 5. Design a flexible daily rhythm. Dr. Ken Dykewald often says, routine can be rocket fuel for retirees. Without the structure of a workday, hours can slip away. Yet, a flexible rhythm, one that balances activity and rest, grounds you in purpose without rigidity. Begin by sketching a joy-to-joy schedule. Instead of hours labeled 9 to 5, map out pockets of movement, social connection, quiet reflection, creative play, and rest. Maybe your day starts with yoga and journaling, flows into a midday art class, and ends with a leisurely walk and call to a friend. Incorporate variety to prevent monotony. On alternate days, switch morning yoga for Tai Chi, or trade a neighborhood stroll for a pottery lesson. These shifts spark curiosity and keep your days feeling fresh. Dr. Mo Wang's research on bridge employment shows that part-time or project-based work can ease the transition. If you miss the sense of responsibility, consider consulting, tutoring, or freelancing on your terms. You gain structure, social engagement, and a sense of contribution without the full commitment of a career. Finally, build in deliberate rest. Short naps, reading breaks, or simply gazing out a window recharge your energy. Treat rest as an essential element of your rhythm, not a guilty indulgence. By designing a flexible daily rhythm, you harness the power of structure and spontaneity. Your day becomes a bespoke tapestry, woven with intention, one that reflects who you are now and who you aspire to become. The final light beyond early adjustment. Retirement offers fertile ground for psychological growth. Dr. Mo Wang's studies reveal that retirees who engage in meaningful bridge roles report higher life satisfaction even 5 years later. Those steady, low-pressure commitments build mastery and community. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg further highlights the role of support systems in sustaining change. She stresses that ongoing social and institutional support can transform perceived loss into opportunity. Community centers, alumni networks, and volunteer agencies become critical anchors in your transition journey. Neuroscientific research now shows that learning new skills, whether digital photography or a foreign language, stimulates neuroplasticity well into our 70s. This counters the myth that the brain slows irreversibly after a certain age. Instead, every novel challenge ignites fresh neural connections. Dr. Laura Carstensen's follow-up work demonstrates that retirees who maintain a mix of emotional and informational goals showcase greater resilience. They balance close relationships with exploratory ventures like travel, creative hobbies, or online courses, keeping both heart and mind engaged. Finally, Dr. Richard Leider, author of The Power of Purpose, reminds us that discovering and living our vocation, our unique gifts applied in service, drives well-being. He writes, "Happy people are they who enjoy the scenery on the way to the destination." In retirement, the destination is not a finish line but a pathway of continual purpose. Together, these insights paint a hopeful picture. Retirement is not a final chapter, but a threshold to deeper growth, connection, and cognitive vitality. From knowing to becoming. We began by asking, who am I now? Through research and stories, we discovered that identity in retirement blooms when we experiment with new roles, cultivate micro-purposes, forge nourishing relationships, reshape our narrative, and design a flexible rhythm. Retirement is a profound transition, not a decline. As Dr. Becca Levy's work shows, our beliefs about aging influence our health and longevity. When we believe in growth, our bodies and minds respond in kind. Dr. Robert J. Waldinger and the Harvard team remind us that strong relationships fortify our happiness. Dr. Nancy Schlossberg points out that coping resources and support determine our success in change. And Dr. Richard Leider urges us to seek purpose as our true north. Today you've gained 5 practical strategies and 2 scientific lenses to guide your journey. You have permission to redefine yourself, piece by piece, story by story. Embrace this season not as an ending but as a threshold to deeper meaning. Let your next steps be guided by curiosity, connection, and compassion for yourself and others. Until the next reflection now, I'd like to leave you with one final question. What new chapter will you write in the story of your life? Will you become a mentor, an artist, a volunteer, or perhaps an explorer of ideas you've only imagined? Here's your call to action. Reflect. Take 5 minutes tonight to journal one small action you'll try next week, one micro-purpose or a trial role experiment. Share. In the comments below, tell us which strategy resonated most with you. Your story might spark someone else's journey. Connect. If you found this script helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's build a community where retirees redefine purpose together. Engage. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll explore cultivating legacy, leaving a lasting impact beyond work. Retirement is not the final act, it's a new stage awaiting your voice. The next page of your story is blank. Take up the pen and let purpose guide every line. We can't wait to see where you'll go. Thank you for listening, and here's to rediscovering who you are today, tomorrow, and always.